The NFL is buzzing with a storyline that nobody saw coming, and it's got fans, insiders, and entire front offices on edge. The Cincinnati Bengals, a team that has built its reputation on bold moves and relentless pursuit of a championship window, are reportedly pressuring the league to help facilitate a trade for none other than rookie quarterback Shedeur Sanders. Yes, you heard that right. The same Shedeur Sanders who has spent the early part of his NFL career buried on the Cleveland Browns' depth chart, taking scout team reps, is now at the center of one of the juiciest rumors in football. And the timing couldn't be more explosive. Just hours after Shedeur set the record straight about his development during an interview with Cleveland.com, where he pulled back the curtain on exactly how he's using his role to sharpen his game, the Bengals have allegedly turned up the heat behind the scenes. The question everyone's asking is simple. Did Shedeur's truth bomb about his preparation and growth light a fire that could completely change the landscape of the AFC? Think about it. The Bengals already have one of the league's brightest stars in Joe Burrow, but they've also been navigating some serious injury concerns and inconsistency at the quarterback position. Behind Burrow, the options are thin, and in a division as cutthroat as the AFC North, the margin for error is razor-thin. The Ravens have Lamar Jackson, the Steelers are building around Kenny Pickett, and the Browns, ironically, have gone all in on Deshaun Watson. Cincinnati knows they can't afford to be reactive. They need to stay ahead of the curve. And what better way than to scoop up a quarterback who might be far more NFL-ready than people realize? But here, where things get really fascinating, Shedeur's comments weren't the typical rookie talking points. He wasn't just saying he's staying ready or learning from veterans. He revealed that he's treating every week like he's playing 6 games because of the competition and intensity of his scout team reps. He talked about building chemistry with receivers, leading a tight-knit unit, and even finding growth in facing Cleveland's star-studded defense, guys like Myles Garrett on a daily basis. That's not a rookie just going through the motions. That's a quarterback turning a so-called waiting role into an accelerated training ground. So now the Bengals are lurking, reportedly pressuring the NFL to open the door for a potential trade. And if they pull it off, it's not just another transaction. It could be a move that reshapes the AFC playoff picture for years. Because this isn't about finding a backup. This is about securing a future leader, a player who has shown patience, maturity, and leadership in a way that's incredibly rare in today's league. The shockwave is real. The rumor mill is spinning at full speed. And the only thing we know for certain is that Shedeur Sanders has gone from under-the-radar rookie to one of the most talked-about players in football practically overnight. The question is, are we witnessing the start of a franchise-altering saga? When you look at Shedeur Sanders right now, you don't see the flashy rookie making highlight reels every Sunday. You don't see the guy on billboards or trending for game-winning drives. Instead, you see him tucked away on the Cleveland Browns' depth chart, quietly working behind the scenes as a scout team quarterback. On the surface, that might sound like a frustrating role, especially for a player who entered the NFL with so much hype. But if you actually listen to Shedeur talk about it, you realize he's turning what most people would call a setback into one of the most valuable growth opportunities a rookie quarterback could ever have. Shedeur isn't spending his days riding the bench, sulking about reps, or begging for opportunities. He's embraced the grind of the scout team. And here's the kicker. He says he's playing the equivalent of 6 games every week. 6. That's not exaggeration or empty talk. That's how he describes the intensity of the reps he's getting. Every practice, he's lining up against one of the best defenses in the NFL, led by none other than Myles Garrett. And while most rookies get watered-down reps against backups, Shedeur is being battle-tested daily by one of the fiercest pass rushes in football. Think about what that does for his development. Every drop back, he's forced to process quicker. Every snap, he's learning how to feel pressure and escape. Every throw, he's facing elite corners who disguise coverages like seasoned pros. That's not wasted time. That's a crash course in what it takes to survive in the NFL. But it doesn't stop with just the reps. Shedeur is also building something equally important: chemistry and leadership. He talks about his scout team receivers like their brothers, calling them explosive and really great. and insisting they just need opportunities to shine. That's not a rookie making excuses for second stringers. That's a quarterback instilling belief, building trust, and creating a culture. And it's happening away from the cameras, in the grind of weekly practices, where reputations are earned. What really stands out is the maturity in his mindset. While a lot of young players in his position might get bitter, wondering why they aren't starting or feeling like their careers are being stalled, Shedeur takes the opposite approach. He calls himself thankful for the chance to compete every day. He frames his time on the scout team as a chance to learn the playbook inside and out, to understand the game plan at a deeper level, and to grow into a leader who's more prepared when his moment finally comes. In Cleveland, his official role may not look glamorous, but the reality is that Shedeur is quietly stacking experience most rookies could only dream of. He's turning a supporting role into a personal boot camp, sharpening skills and relationships that will serve him the moment he's called on. The Browns may see him as their backup right now, but if you look closely, you'll see something bigger. A quarterback being forged in fire, growing sharper every single week. On the surface, the Bengals' interest in Shedeur Sanders might feel puzzling. After all, they already have Joe Burrow, one of the best young quarterbacks in the NFL and the face of their franchise. So why would Cincinnati, of all teams, reportedly be pushing the league to help facilitate a move for a rookie buried on the Browns' depth chart? The answer isn't as simple as it looks, and when you break it down, it actually makes a lot of sense. Let's start with the obvious: Burrow's health. As great as Joe is, the Bengals have learned the hard way that their entire season can collapse if he's not 100%. From the calf injury that lingered last season to other bumps and bruises, Burrow's durability has become a serious talking point. In the AFC North, a division where every team has a dangerous defense, you can't afford to gamble on your quarterback's health. Backup Jake Browning gave the Bengals a few solid moments, but let's be real. He's not the guy you want trying to lead you through a playoff run if Burrow goes down again. That's where someone like Shedeur comes in. Cincinnati doesn't just want a warm body holding a clipboard. They want someone with upside, someone who can actually win games if pressed into action. And in Sanders, they see a unique blend of traits: maturity, leadership, and the kind of accelerated development most rookies never get. Remember, this is a quarterback facing Cleveland's defense every single day. He's not learning in slow motion. He's learning at full speed against one of the nastiest units in the NFL. To the Bengals, that makes him more game-ready than most rookies riding the bench. There's also the culture factor. The Bengals pride themselves on chemistry, continuity, and locker room leadership. Look at the way Jamar Chase and T. Higgins operate with Burrow. It's not just about talent, it's about trust. Sanders is already showing he can build that same kind of trust with his scout team receivers. He's not complaining about reps, he's lifting up the guys around him, making them feel like part of something bigger. That's exactly the type of mentality Cincinnati wants in their quarterback room. And let's not forget the long-term view. Burrow is the franchise cornerstone, but what if Cincinnati could groom Sanders as both insurance and a potential trade chip down the line? If he develops the way some scouts think he will, the Bengals could either have the league's best backup situation or a future starter they can flip for huge value. Either way, it's smart business. When you piece it all together, Burrow's health concerns, the lack of a reliable backup, the value of Sanders' accelerated development, and the culture fit, it's not hard to see why the Bengals are lurking. To them, Shedeur Sanders isn't just another rookie quarterback. He's an opportunity to protect their championship window, strengthen their depth, and maybe even steal a future star from a division rival. And in the arms race, that is the AFC North, that's the kind of move that can make all the difference. If there's one moment that set the NFL rumor mill on fire, it was Shedeur Sanders' interview with Cleveland.com. On the surface, it might have looked like a routine rookie Q&A, but anyone paying attention could see the subtext. It was Shedeur quietly dropping truth bombs about his development, his mindset, and why he might be far more NFL-ready than anyone expected. And for teams like the Bengals, those truth bombs didn't just land, they detonated. First, Shedeur laid out exactly what his daily grind looks like. While most rookies are counting the weeks until their first snap, Sanders is treating every practice like a game. He talks about playing 6 games per week through scout team reps, which is no small feat. This isn't just padding stats or mindless repetition. He's facing elite defenders, simulating real game pressure, and making reads against some of the league's top talent. Imagine going against a first-team defense every single day. Guys like Myles Garrett, one of the most fearsome pass rushers in the NFL. That's not a development opportunity you find everywhere, and Shedeur knows it. But it wasn't just about quantity, it was about quality. Sanders highlighted the chemistry he's building with his scout team receivers, calling them explosive, and emphasizing that they just need the right opportunities. He described the team dynamic as like a real family, which may sound simple, but in the high-stakes world of the NFL, it's extraordinary. Here's a rookie quarterback, buried on the depth chart, leading, motivating, and fostering trust among players who most would consider practice squad filler. That kind of leadership presence at this stage is incredibly rare. What really got attention was how Shedeur framed his role mentally. He wasn't frustrated or bitter about not starting. Instead, he presented it as a unique advantage, a way to accelerate his growth, understand the playbook, and refine his instincts against elite competition. While other young quarterbacks might complain about limited reps or wasted talent, Shedeur turned what could have been a demoralizing situation into a masterclass in patience, preparation, and purposeful growth. And then came the part that had scouts, analysts, and rival front offices sitting up straight. His development isn't just physical, it's holistic. Sanders talked about growing each week, not only in arm strength or accuracy, but in football IQ, decision-making under pressure, and leadership skills. This is the kind of preparation that transforms a talented rookie into a future starter capable of running a franchise-level offense. The takeaway: Shedeur Sanders isn't just waiting for an opportunity, he's actively creating it. He's showing the league, in the most subtle yet powerful way possible, that he can handle elite competition, build chemistry, and lead a team, without ever stepping into a regular season game. That's the truth bomb that has teams like the Bengals circling, asking themselves, could this rookie, quietly grinding behind the scenes, be exactly the type of quarterback we've been looking for? Here's the part that most people are missing when they talk about Shedeur Sanders' role with the Browns. What looks like a bench rookie scenario is actually a secretly perfect development environment. While casual fans see a quarterback buried on the depth chart, the truth is that Cleveland might be inadvertently crafting one of the most NFL-ready young QBs in the game. And it's all happening because of the situation most would consider a disadvantage. Shedeur isn't just running plays against backups or second-string defenders. Every day, he's facing Cleveland's first-team defense, a unit stacked with elite talent, from pass rushers like Myles Garrett to shut down corners who can expose even experienced quarterbacks. Most rookies spend their first year getting sporadic reps, learning the system slowly, and building confidence against vanilla defenses. Sanders is doing the opposite. He's being battle-tested at the highest level, forced to make quick decisions, read complex coverages, and refine his footwork and pocket presence under constant pressure. And it's not just the physical reps that set him apart, it's the holistic growth. He's learning playbooks inside and out, building chemistry with receivers, understanding timing and spacing, and developing mental toughness that can only come from daily challenges against elite competition. Most young quarterbacks won't experience this until they're already starters, and by then, the learning curve is much steeper. Shedeur is essentially fast-forwarding that development. What makes this even more remarkable is his mindset. He's not frustrated or bitter about being buried on the depth chart. Instead, he's treating it as an opportunity to sharpen every part of his game. That patience combined with purpose is rare in any rookie, and it's exactly the type of mindset that turns potential into greatness. Cleveland may not realize it yet, but they're sitting on a hidden advantage. A quarterback who's quietly transforming himself into a complete player, ready to handle pressure, lead a team, and thrive when his moment finally comes. If other teams are paying attention, and it looks like Cincinnati is, they're seeing a player who might be far more dangerous than his current role suggests. In short, what looks like a quiet bench rookie could very well be a monster in the making, and the Browns might just be unwittingly creating the NFL's next breakout star. One of the most overlooked aspects of Shedeur Sanders' rise isn't his arm, his accuracy, or even his quick release. It's his leadership. In today's NFL, a quarterback's ability to lead a locker room is almost as important as their on-field talent. And for a rookie buried on the depth chart, Shedeur is already showing traits that separate him from nearly every other young player in the league. While many rookies would be frustrated, restless, or preoccupied with their own development, Shedeur is taking a completely different approach. He's investing in the people around him, his scout team receivers, his practice squad teammates, and even the offensive staff, building relationships that are as important as the reps he takes. He describes his scout team as like a real family, and that isn't just empty talk. He genuinely lifts those around him, praising their abilities, encouraging them to take chances, and creating a culture where everyone feels valued. That kind of influence at his stage of a career is extremely rare. What's even more impressive is how this leadership translates to preparation. By fostering chemistry with his teammates, Shedeur ensures that the unit he works with every day operates like a cohesive, high-level offensive team, even if it's just the scout squad. That means when he eventually steps onto a game field, he's not just a QB who knows the playbook. He's a quarterback who understands timing, trust, and rhythm with the guys he's throwing to. That's an intangible most rookies spend years trying to develop, and Shedeur is doing it from the start. This kind of locker room presence also sends a message to coaches and front offices. Leadership isn't always measurable in stats or highlight reels. Sometimes it's the quiet guy who motivates the practice squad, who commands respect without demanding attention, who lifts up every player in the room. That's exactly what Shedeur is doing. While other young quarterbacks might focus solely on themselves, he's thinking about the entire team. He sees potential in players others overlook and is actively helping them reach it. For the Bengals and other teams reportedly watching him, this is gold. You can teach mechanics, arm strength, and football IQ, but leadership and culture building, that's harder to replicate. And Sanders is already showing that he has it in spades. He's demonstrating patience, maturity, and a mindset that values preparation and collective success over immediate glory. In short, Shedeur Sanders isn't just growing as a player, he's growing as a leader. That combination of talent, intelligence, and locker room presence is exactly the type of quarterback that changes franchises. And while he's still waiting for his opportunity to start in the NFL, he's quietly laying the foundation to be a transformational figure wherever he plays.
If you enjoyed today's breakdown and want to keep up with all the drama, trades, and behind-the-scenes action in the NFL, then don't forget to hit that like button.
From the outside, it might seem strange that the Cincinnati Bengals, a team anchored by superstar quarterback Joe Burrow, would be aggressively eyeing a rookie on another team's depth chart. But once you peel back the layers, the reasoning becomes clear. This is about long-term strategy, depth, and staying ahead in the AFC North. Let's start with the obvious, Burrow's health. While Joe is undeniably one of the best quarterbacks in the league, injuries are always a looming concern. A single misstep, a bad hit, or lingering issue could derail a season for Cincinnati, and the team knows it. Their current backup, Jake Browning, has shown flashes, but he isn't a proven starter. In a division that's as fiercely competitive as the AFC North, relying on untested depth is risky. This is where Shedeur Sanders becomes a tantalizing option. The Bengals aren't just looking for a warm body, they're scouting potential. Sanders isn't an ordinary rookie. He's a quarterback who has been facing first-team defenses, including elite pass rushers, every single day. Most young QBs are developing slowly, learning the system with a fraction of the reps. Sanders, on the other hand, is learning faster, being battle-tested, and sharpening his decision-making at a pace that few rookies can match. From Cincinnati's perspective, that kind of accelerated growth is exactly what you want in a potential backup, or even a future starter. Then there's the culture factor. The Bengals are known for chemistry, continuity, and leadership in the locker room. Burrow has a unique connection with Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, and the offense at large. Adding Sanders, a quarterback already demonstrating leadership, mentorship, and the ability to elevate players around him, fits perfectly into that mold. This isn't just about talent, It's about building a quarterback room that can sustain success, even if adversity strikes. The timing also plays a role. With rumors swirling, the Bengals may see an opportunity to act before the rookie's value skyrockets. If Sanders continues his current trajectory, more teams could line up to acquire him. By pressuring the league now, Cincinnati positions itself to either secure a young quarterback ready to contribute immediately or gain leverage for future negotiations. Finally, think long-term. Burrow is the franchise cornerstone, but the Bengals need flexibility and insurance. Sanders represents both, a potential immediate contributor and a player with the upside to become a cornerstone himself or a high-value trade asset. In a league where quarterbacks can make or break a franchise, acquiring someone like Sanders, even as a backup, could be a move that pays dividends for years. In short, the Bengals' push isn't impulsive. It's a calculated, strategic play, securing talent, building depth, protecting their championship window, and staying ahead in one of the NFL's toughest divisions. For Cincinnati, Shedeur Sanders isn't just a rookie. They see a potential solution to multiple long-term challenges, and that's why the pressure is on. The Cleveland Browns find themselves at a crossroads, and at the heart of it is Shedeur Sanders. On one hand, they have a highly touted rookie quietly developing into one of the most prepared young quarterbacks in the league. On the other hand, they've invested heavily in Deshaun Watson, their franchise quarterback and the centerpiece of the offense. The question is stark. Do the Browns keep their hidden gem, or do they risk losing him to a division rival like the Bengals? From a development standpoint, the Browns are in a unique position. Shedeur is gaining elite-level experience by facing their first-team defense every single day, building chemistry with practice squad receivers, and demonstrating leadership that goes far beyond what his roster spot might suggest. It's a rare situation. Most rookies are limited in reps and exposure, but Sanders is learning at a pace that most second-year quarterbacks can only dream of. He's accumulating mental toughness, pocket awareness, and game intelligence in a way that's almost impossible to replicate elsewhere. But here's the dilemma. The Browns are already committed to Watson. Shedeur is essentially insurance at this point, and the team may be hesitant to invest in a rookie who could eventually challenge their starter, or worse, walk away if another team like Cincinnati comes calling. The talent and leadership he's displaying are becoming increasingly visible, and with each week that passes, his trade value rises. That puts the Browns in a difficult spot. Hold on to him and risk creating tension, or capitalize on his value before another team swoops in. There's also a strategic angle. The Bengals, reportedly circling, play in the same division. Letting Shedeur go could inadvertently strengthen a rival, giving them a quarterback who has been trained under the Browns' system and who has developed by facing Cleveland's elite defense. It's a delicate balance. Retain him and potentially disrupt the QB hierarchy, or trade him and risk empowering a competitor. Fan sentiment adds another layer. Some supporters argue that Shedeur deserves a shot to start immediately, citing his maturity, leadership, and accelerated development. Others recognize that his current role maximizes his growth and could lead to an even bigger payoff down the line. Management has to weigh these competing pressures while making a decision that could affect the franchise for years. Ultimately, the Browns' dilemma comes down to foresight and risk management. Shedeur Sanders is not just a rookie on the bench. He's a potential game changer, a player whose unique combination of talent, leadership, and experience could redefine the franchise's future. Whether Cleveland chooses to keep him or let him go, the implications of that choice will reverberate far beyond the depth chart, shaping not only the team's offense, but the entire AFC North landscape. If the rumors about Shedeur Sanders heading toward the Bengals have any truth to them, the impact wouldn't just be felt in Cincinnati or Cleveland. It would send shockwaves throughout the entire AFC North. This isn't just a story about a rookie quarterback potentially changing teams. It's a tale about how one strategic move could alter the balance of power in one of the NFL's most competitive divisions. Start with the Bengals. Adding Shedeur to their quarterback room gives Cincinnati an immediate upgrade in depth and potential. Joe Burrow remains the franchise cornerstone, but injuries happen, and the Bengals have already experienced the consequences of leaning too heavily on one quarterback. Sanders provides insurance against those risks, and if he continues to develop at the pace he's shown with Cleveland, he could be a starter-level talent ready to step in seamlessly. That's a serious advantage in a division where every game is a grind, every snap counts, and one bad week can cost playoff positioning. Then consider the ripple effect on Cleveland. Losing Sanders to a divisional rival would sting on multiple levels. Not only would the Browns be giving up a potential long-term asset, but they'd also be empowering a team they compete with twice a year. It's one thing to trade a promising rookie to a team across the league. It's another to hand them to the Bengals, who could now have the luxury of developing a future star quarterback while still competing at a high level. That could shift the balance of power in the AFC North for years. The Steelers and Ravens also have skin in the game. If the Bengals acquire Sanders, suddenly they're not just defending against Joe Burrow. They're facing a team with depth, talent, and a quarterback capable of maintaining a high-level offense even if Burrow is sidelined. That kind of depth puts additional pressure on both Pittsburgh and Baltimore to strengthen their own rosters, potentially accelerating their own strategic decisions in ways they hadn't planned. Suddenly, the AFC North becomes a chessboard where every move has consequences, and one rookie could be the catalyst for multiple dominoes falling. There's also a psychological factor. The perception that the Bengals are actively acquiring a young, hungry quarterback sends a message across the league. Cincinnati is thinking long-term, preparing for any scenario, and willing to invest in talent that could give them a competitive edge. That perception alone can alter game plans, draft strategies, and front office decisions across the division. In short, Shedeur Sanders isn't just a rookie quarterback developing quietly on the Browns' scout team. He's a potential game-changer whose movement, or rumored movement, has implications far beyond a single roster spot. The ripple effect spans the AFC North, influencing strategy, psychology, and competition across 4 teams, and making this story one of the most compelling narratives in the league today. The reaction to Shedeur Sanders' rise and the swirling trade rumors has been electric, both in the media and among fans. Social media is buzzing with hot takes, predictions, and heated debates about what this means for the Browns, the Bengals, and the AFC North as a whole. Analysts are dissecting his scout team reps, leadership qualities, and maturity, trying to figure out whether this rookie could truly change the landscape of the league, or if it's all just hype. Fans are split into distinct camps. One group argues that Sanders deserves a shot to start immediately. They point to his work ethic, his accelerated development, and the fact that he's getting elite reps against Cleveland's first-team defense. To them, he's more than ready, and sitting on the bench is a waste of talent that could be making an immediate impact. These fans see the Bengals' rumors as validation. If a rival team recognizes his potential, maybe the Browns are undervaluing what they have. Then there's the group that admires Sanders' patience and professionalism. They appreciate that he's not causing drama, not complaining, and is using his time on the scout team as a chance to grow every aspect of his game. To them, this is a long-term play. By continuing to develop quietly, he's setting himself up to dominate when his opportunity finally arrives. This perspective emphasizes maturity, leadership, and the kind of preparation that separates good players from great ones. Media coverage has been just as lively. Analysts are highlighting the truth bomb he dropped in his Cleveland.com interview, emphasizing his leadership and the intensity of his daily reps. Pundits are also noting the potential strategic implications. A rookie quarterback developed under elite competition who could be targeted by rival teams is a hot commodity in today's NFL. Every soundbite, every quote, and every subtle hint from Shedeur is being examined for clues about his readiness, character, and potential trajectory. In the end, the conversation around Shedeur Sanders is about more than stats or playing time. It's about the NFL's evolving approach to rookie development, leadership, and culture. Fans and media alike are captivated because they're witnessing a story that feels larger than one player. It's a potential game changer for a team, a division, and maybe the league itself. At first glance, the Shedeur Sanders story might seem like a classic rookie trade rumor, the kind of narrative that flares up every NFL season and fades after a week. But if you look closer, it's much bigger than that. This isn't just about a player moving from Cleveland to Cincinnati. It's about how teams evaluate talent, develop quarterbacks, and manage long-term strategy in a league where every decision can ripple for years. Shedeur's situation is a case study in modern quarterback development. Instead of sitting idle, he's using every scout team rep to accelerate his growth. He's facing first-team defenses, building chemistry, and learning the game at a pace that few rookies experience. That's why teams like the Bengals are reportedly circling. They see potential, not just raw talent, but a player who's actively preparing to compete at the highest level. In today's NFL, that combination of skill, maturity, and preparation is rare, and teams are willing to pay a premium for it. It also matters because of strategy and competition in the AFC North. One rookie's development and the possibility of him switching teams can affect rivalries, playoff implications, and the balance of power across multiple franchises. The Browns have to weigh long-term value against immediate needs, while the Bengals are calculating risk and reward. Every move sends ripples through the division, showing just how much a single player, quietly working behind the scenes, can influence league dynamics. Then there's the cultural element. Leadership, mentorship, and character are becoming just as important as arm strength and accuracy in evaluating young quarterbacks. Sanders is already demonstrating qualities that make him a franchise leader: patience, professionalism, and the ability to elevate everyone around him. This story highlights how intangible factors like locker room presence and mindset can shape a team's trajectory, and why organizations pay close attention to them. In the end, the Shedeur Sanders story matters because it's about preparation, opportunity, and impact. It's a reminder that NFL careers are built as much in practice rooms and scout team sessions as they are on Sundays. Whether he stays in Cleveland or lands in Cincinnati, Sanders is proving that talent combined with patience and purpose can change the narrative for a player, a team, and a division. This isn't just a rookie making headlines. It's a story of the NFL evolving and the rare players who are ahead of the curve. As the dust settles on Shedeur Sanders' explosive interview and the swirling trade rumors, one thing becomes crystal clear. Nobody knows exactly what's coming next. The NFL thrives on unpredictability, and Sanders has suddenly become the center of one of the league's most intriguing storylines. Every scout, every front office executive, and every fan is watching, waiting to see how this quietly grinding rookie might shift the balance of power in the AFC North and beyond. The Browns now face a critical decision. Do they keep him, continuing to nurture his rapid development and risk losing a potential superstar to a rival? Or do they let him go, perhaps gaining draft capital or appeasing the locker room, but at the cost of strengthening the Bengals or another team right in their division? Each option carries massive consequences. One choice could alter playoff races, franchise strategies, and even the trajectory of a young quarterback who's showing the kind of maturity rarely seen at this stage of a career. Meanwhile, the Bengals, and reportedly other teams, are circling like hawks. Shedeur's work ethic, leadership, and the accelerated growth he's achieved on Cleveland's scout team make him a highly coveted asset. Imagine a quarterback who's been going head-to-head with elite defenders, building chemistry and mastering the NFL playbook in real time, without ever starting a game. That's the kind of talent that turns heads, shifts strategies, and forces rival front offices to rethink their priorities. And then there's the narrative outside the X's and O's. Fans are debating, analysts are speculating, and social media is ablaze. Every quote, every practice report, and every rumored meeting adds fuel to the fire. Shedeur has gone from bench rookie to potential game-changer almost overnight, and the suspense is only growing. Will he get his shot to start soon? Will a trade shake up the division? Or will Cleveland hold onto their hidden gem, keeping the NFL guessing? The truth is, no one knows. And that's exactly why this story has captivated the league. Shedeur Sanders has transformed what could have been an ordinary rookie season into a suspense-filled saga, a story that's still being written, and could end in ways nobody expects. One thing is certain: whether he stays, moves, or becomes the key to a divisional shakeup, the NFL landscape is about to feel the ripple effects. And just like that, we're left asking the question that keeps fans and insiders on edge: What happens next for Shedeur Sanders? Only time will tell, and the next chapter is closer than we think.
If you enjoyed today's breakdown and want to keep up with all the drama, trades, and behind-the-scenes action in the NFL, then don't forget to hit that like button. It really helps this channel grow and lets us know you love this kind of content. And hey, don't keep it to yourself. Share this video with your friends, your group chats, or anyone who loves football as much as you do. The more the conversation spreads, the better it gets. Most importantly, if you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to the channel and tap the notification bell. That way, you'll never miss when we drop fresh stories, wild rumors, or breaking updates that the mainstream media won't talk about.